Well, I had a gap year before going to university, and I got a job in a laboratory because I was a science student in London at a London hospital, and the guy I was working with was very, very nice, and he said, "Well, I assume you're going to be travelling around the world in your gap year at some stage." And I said, "Well, yeah, but I hadn't really made any plans." And he said, "Well, do you fancy going to Sweden? Because we work with a guy in Sweden, and we speak to him every day, and if you're interested, we might be able to arrange for you to get a job in his lab there." So I said, fine. I jumped at the chance. So that's how I first went there. And then after I did my degree at Bristol, I didn't have a very good... I got a third-class honours degree and didn't know what to do next. So I rang him up and said, hey, shall I come and do a PhD? And I must be the only student to graduate with a third-class honours degree who got a postgraduate placing.
But it was while you were in Sweden that you started... was it your first band, Johnny Socks?
Yeah, since school, yeah. With two draft dodgers. America was imprisoning all draft dodgers in those days, so they were being offered safe haven in places like Canada and Sweden. So there were a lot of Americans around. Of course, wherever Americans go, music follows, and I got together with two Americans there and two Swedes, and we formed a band called Johnny Socks, which... after I got dumped from my research post, we headed to London, and then President Carter got in, so he offered an amnesty to all the draft dodgers. So the two Americans, the drummer first, they wanted to go back to America, so the drummer left first, and Jet Black came in. So over the period of... I actually went to Sweden after my degree in 71, and then 74 came back with Johnny Socks to London, and then... throughout 74, that band transformed into the Stranglers, basically. Well,
of course, you arrived back at an opportune time. I mean, there was an explosion of, call it punk, call it new wave, call it what you will. It was an exciting time in music because, there was a kickback from disco and everything else that had been happening. Yeah,
there's a lot of different elements. I mean, the Police were going then, and you couldn't really call them punk, but they had sort of a punk edge, and we had a punk edge. It was very simple. It was oversimplified just for the purposes of packaging, and the people who were making a lot of money out of it. It made sense to simplify it and put it all under this one banner, which is what happened. But it was a very opportune time for us to be looking for a success, because the door opened and we went through it.
Yeah. Golden Brown, I think that's the most played track from the Stranglers these days on radio.
Yeah, I could say, yeah.
Which is strange in a way, because I think if any one single track defines the Stranglers better than any other, it's Peaches, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you could say that. I mean, for me, really, No More Heroes is just as good as Peaches. I mean, that sort of encapsulated where we were at that time as well.
You've influenced so many people, haven't you, over the years, and they also want to record your music as well. You've had solo success, with a number of albums of your own, but do you feel... the whole process is more rewarding as a solo artist?
Yeah, I mean, I've had my stint of being... It's great fun being in a band, but I've done it. I got that out of my system, and I just want to do things where I'm more in control, and it's more of an honest representative. What I do now is much more an honest representation, in the sense that it's me, and not that what I was doing before was dishonest, but it's more me rather than a combination of people. I try to go into this and explain this in the book, that when you're in a group, you're in a corporate image, and the image of the band, what represents you, is a combination of the people in the band, and you can't there's no way around that.